We all know the story. A silent night, a sleeping village, a baby in a manger. But the Bible reveals that while the earth slept, the heavens were screaming. This isn't just the story of a birth, it is the story of a war. On earth, the Gospel of Luke shows us a young woman named Mary, vulnerable, exhausted, traveling through the cold dark of night. But in the book of Revelation, the Apostle John saw her true spiritual reality. He didn't see a peasant girl, he saw a queen. A woman clothed in the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. She cried out in pain as she labored to give birth, because she wasn't just bringing a child into the world, she was bringing the light. In Jerusalem, King Herod was troubled, a jealous tyrant, terrified of losing his throne to a new king. But behind the puppet king stood the puppet master. John saw a great red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. His tail swept a third of the stars from the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she bore her child, he might devour it. And so it happened. In a humble stable, Mary gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him in cloths and laid him in a manger. She gave birth to a male child, one who is to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. The enemy lunged to destroy him, but the child was snatched up to God and to his throne. The light had entered the darkness, and the darkness could not overcome it. In the fields nearby, shepherds were watching their flocks. Suddenly, the sky exploded with light. An angel appeared, announcing peace on earth. But that multitude of heavenly hosts was not just a choir, it was an army. War arose in heaven, Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. On earth, Joseph received a warning in a dream. Rise, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt. Herod was coming to kill the child. The dragon, furious that he had missed the child, poured water like a river out of his mouth to sweep the woman away. But the earth came to the help of the woman. It opened its mouth and swallowed the river. And the woman was given the 2 wings of the great eagle, so she might fly to the wilderness. Herod's soldiers arrived too late. The child was gone. The plan of the enemy had failed. The dragon was enraged. He went off to make war on the rest of her offspring, on those who keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus. Centuries later, the world remembers the birth with lights, songs, and silent nights, often forgetting the war that still rages in the shadows. The enemy still hunts, but he no longer faces a helpless child. He faces the offspring, the sons and daughters of the King. So as we celebrate, remember this: the manger was not just a bed, it was the front line. And the baby was not just a child, he was the conqueror. The war continues, but the victory is already won. He lives.